Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.
Hello friends, I'm Paul Jasson, your host. Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today. We are glad you're with us, and as we begin taping today, we look outside the window here at the downtown Fairfield Federal, and it is an absolutely beautiful day. A little cool out, nice to look out from the inside a little bit, but I think days like this encourage us, and we know that the really springtime, the good weather is coming. Especially this coming weekend as we move into Memorial Day weekend. It's an exciting time all around the Lancaster and Fairfield County, lots of activities going on. And with that Memorial Day weekend, our show today will have kind of a bent toward the veterans, toward active people, toward those who pay the ultimate sacrifice. We'll talk about things along those lines. The second half of the show we'll have on Park Russell. Park is the director of the Fairfield County Veterans Administration here in Lancaster and Fairfield County, and they do so much to help veterans. They have all kind of programs and things set up that they always try to get the word out on how much they can do. And we'll talk about some of those and some new things that they've got going on there too. We'll talk to Park about that. But again, with the Memorial Day weekend coming up and a veteran thoughts in our mind, it's time to turn to Mary Austin. Mary, welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning.
We get Mary a couple of times a year. Mary, in November, Mary heads up the Veterans Day Parade in November 11th. And then this time of the year, Mary heads up and does such a great job with Memorial Day and the parade that all goes on with this. And it's an exciting time of the year. You hope for a day like this. That would be wonderful.
Oh, yes.
That's the only. I know you're an ultimate controller. You like to be in charge. You like to handle that, but you can't control the weather. The only thing out of your control, but boy, a day like this would be great.
Yes, a day like this would be perfect. Nice and cool, not too hot.
Well, it's actually on Memorial Day. It's on Monday this year, and it is an exciting time. And I guess to say a parade might be a bit of a misnomer. If you think of a parade like the holiday parade or something like that, well, it's nothing like that.
No,
this is a parade. If it is a parade, that really is all about veterans.
Yes, it's all. You have to be a veteran to be in there, or you have to honor a veteran.
Yeah.
Like you have to be a business that will honor a veteran. Sometimes they'll honor a World War II veteran.
Sure.
This year we're lucky that we have a Grand Marshal, and it's going to be John Todd Hunter, and we're so honored to have him, to be our Grand Marshal this year.
Nice.
Ex-police officer.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
And we'll talk about some of the things that will be going on. We got all the veterans organizations are represented. We'll have the band. The mayor will be there. We'll have Tony Salvatore with the invocation. A lot of the similar things that you've seen perhaps every year if you've gone to it. And we hope you have. It's a wonderful time. It's at 11 o'clock down at Forest Rose Cemetery. Might mention that. And we'll mention the parade forming and all that and how you get there. But the actual ceremony is at 11 o'clock down on Monday. Memorial Day Monday at Forest Rose. But this has been a year where, at least here in Lancaster, veterans have been mentioned, unfortunately, more than most because of the passing of Specialist Joey Coletti.
Yeah, now he's a sergeant.
Well, a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah.
When I put those up on some reader boards, I put up sergeant because he got a field promotion, but he was Sergeant Joseph Coletti, Joey Coletti, and we had, unfortunately, far more coverage down here than we had hoped for. That was a very sad time.
Yes.
But what a great job the community did.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
sure from a veteran standpoint, you were very pleased just to see how honored he was.
And as a veteran and as a mother of a veteran, I was very honored to see how much the community came out. I would love to see that kind of participation for these veterans that never got thanked, the Vietnam veterans, the World War II, that people, if you don't come out to watch the parade, it's not very long, it's not very, grand, but, come out and honor these people like we did. We are this year dedicating the parade to Joseph Coletti, Art Bevenger, and Jack Harvey. Art was a retired fireman. And Jack Harvey was really big in the community and veterans community. So we like to honor those people, those 3 individuals.
And I think from a standpoint of looking at the crowds down there at Forest Rose, there's always a nice crowd, and if it's good weather, obviously it'll be a little larger crowd, but it's always a nice crowd down there. But one thing that's sort of nice to see sometimes is young people there.
Yes.
I think people our age, maybe they get it, maybe they understand what Memorial Day is about and why we honor that. But I think so often, perhaps in the schools, it's not being mentioned as much.
Yeah.
Maybe on TV, it's not being covered as much. And I think it's good when a young person could be down there and actually see what goes on and what Memorial Day really means. It's just not a day when you go out and have hamburgers on the deck. There's more to it.
Or barbecue, or
Right.
go to the beach.
Right. Right.
There's more to it.
So it looks like you've got a good lineup here. I was looking down there. We'll kind of kick things off with Tony Salvatore, the invocation, and then Pledge Allegiance. But then Mayor Scheffler will be there.
Yes.
We're always appreciative, I think, the veterans community, that the mayors have always made time to come out and do this.
And Mayor Scheffler is a veteran himself.
Yes, and that's always good to have.
Yeah.
We haven't had any for a while, so it's good to have one in there. But the others too, as well as David, have understood the importance of being
and
there.
they've always supported us.
And then really the reason why the parade takes place is each veteran organization gets up and has a list of those that passed away from their organization. You'll hear, some cases you hear the same name 4 or 5 times, because some veterans join many organizations. But one thing I noticed, you've tried to pull a trick on me here.
Yes.
You've got a thing in here that I haven't seen before, and this is Doug Kemp, and Doug represents not only the Marine Corps League, he also represents the Veteran of Foreign Wars 1380. But today he's got another, or Monday, he'll have another duty. You're going to have another reading of names. Now, what's that about?
Yes. So every year, the burial squad, sometimes last year we did 97 burials of veterans. Wow. And some of them don't belong to an organization. And every year we hear, we missed your loved one. You know, we didn't have their name. So Doug and Jean Thorne put together a list of every veteran that they did on the burial detail last year, and we're going to read those names to make sure that we did not miss one individual. Now, possibly we could, because the burial squad did not do that funeral.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to mention every name.
And these will be the names of the ones that aren't mentioned?
Yes.
Yes.
And we're going to take off the ones that belong to
Sure.
an organization.
Sure.
To make sure that we try to get everyone that we could possibly get.
And I think that's a great addition, because you and I were talking before we went on. I honestly hadn't thought of that. I think of all veterans as being in some kind of organization, but that's not always the case.
Yes,
it was
not always the
20
case.
years probably before I joined the Legion. I just didn't join.
Yeah.
So I didn't join anything, and the Legion was the only thing I did join. But there are people out there for their own personal reasons have made a choice not to join a veterans club, and those are the kind of names that can get missed.
Yes.
And they're as important as every other name.
Every veteran is important.
Sure.
That's why we honor veterans.
Well, that'll be kind of nice. And then Shannon Fish from Lancaster High School, she'll be there to do her Gettysburg Address. Now, I understand, I can't think of her little girl's name now. She brings her daughter with her. I think, and she has this memorized.
Yes.
She won't get up there and say it. She's a little nervous yet, but maybe Shannon will work on her.
Yes.
But Shannon gets up there and does the Gettysburg Address. I always think that's a high point.
It is. It's a very nice high point. Everybody likes it. She's been doing it since she was 10.
Yeah, so now she's got a daughter that's, well, younger than 10, but now she's got her own daughter, and I think they'd like to see that passed along in the family. That'd be very nice. And then the Lancaster High School Band of Gold right there, Ben Factor will have those people out. And again, every year that it's possible, the band comes through.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
What about when they were having trouble? We were the only parade that they did at one time, because they want to make sure that they honor veterans and our organizations.
Yeah, well, we certainly want to thank Scott Burry and all the folks at Lancaster High School and Ben Factor who get all those young people and turn out there. That's always a great addition to the parade. We notice that when it's on a Sunday and they can't be with us and they're absent, it's nice to have them back.
Yes.
But even then, they gave us buglers.
Yes, they always give us buglers.
Yeah. And then Shane Ronan and Bill McCoy, the bagpipers come out there, and that's always a very touching thing to hear that.
Yeah, especially at the cemetery. It goes through there.
It really does. Now, another thing that goes on, too, is the laying of the wreath And this all will be this part of it will be behind us here at the Veterans Park, right behind us, across the street from Fairfield Federal here, and that's always a nice ceremony.
yes.
And again, it's very brief.
It's
Just
very
get down there
brief.
and watch that.
The whole thing, I think, between the parade and the ceremony lasts almost about an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, and the actual thing, if you want to come to the parade, which is down, well, tell us about where that forms and how
Okay.
all that occurs. Give us that background.
The parade forms on the corner of Columbus and Marbury. Most people think the fairgrounds, but we don't go around like most parades. We go from Columbus Street on the corner of Columbus and Marbury.
Is that Dr.
straight-
Tenz's office right
Yeah.
there? Dr. Tenz's parking
In
lot.
the old unemployment office, is
Right,
right across
right.
the street.
That's correct.
So we go from there all the way down Columbus Street to Forest Row Cemetery. The parade, if you want to be in it, you can sign up as late as 10 minutes before. If you're a veteran and you want to be in the parade,
Very flexible.
we have a lot of room. Or if you just want to walk, or if you want to bring a motorcycle or a bicycle, we've had bicycles in the past. Just contact me or just show up and we'll put you. But
Right.
the stipulation is you've got to be a veteran
Yeah.
to be in the parade.
Yeah.
We don't allow any businesses unless they're honoring a veteran. It forms at 10 and the parade starts promptly at 10:30.
Have to get going at 10:30
Yeah.
because you like to get
Yeah.
the ceremony going at 11. Yeah.
We're very prompt in the military.
All right, I understand,
Everything
and you do a good
starts-
job of that, as
Yeah.
always.
So we go from the corner of Columbus and Marbury. We start out, the parade starts at 10:30. We go straight down Columbus Street to Forest Row Cemetery. A lot of people form at the cemetery because they like to attend both.
Yes.
Yeah, so they watch the parade and then they go into the cemetery and watch the ceremony. You can do either one. The ceremony starts at 11 at Forest Row Cemetery.
Do you see, and I never get to be along the parade route. I don't get to see much until they kind of come around the corner there by the, before you get to Forest Rows. But are there many people on the, I know it's not like Veterans Day or it's not
No.
like that parade, but is there much activity there
Yes.
on Columbus Street?
It kind of varies. And
The
this year
schools or
the
anything?
school-
Do you pass
well,
any? You don't pass
We don't
any?
pass any
Okay.
schools.
That's Veterans
And-
Day, I guess.
And Veterans Day we pass a school.
Yeah.
But on Memorial Day we don't. But people are respectful. They come out. Frank Smith puts chairs out for people to sit.
Yes, yes.
It goes in spurts along the way. We like to see everyone come out and
Yeah.
pay their respect. The Legion Riders are going to have their motorcycles
Really?
in the parade this year.
nice addition.
Yes, they're going to be in the parade behind the Legion. Half of them are going to Rolling Thunder, and the other half are honoring us with being
Nice.
in the parade.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're
the
really
big weekend
excited.
for that, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So again, it's Monday, Memorial Day weekend. It's an exciting time, lots going on in your community, but if it's possible, just take a few minutes out and stop down and see the parade. That's a
Yes.
worthwhile thing to do, I
Yes,
think.
it is. It's
Stop
very
out and see that.
worthwhile.
Appreciate all your work.
Thank
Mary
you.
is, of course, a retired veteran from the Army, and she always works very hard at putting this together. It always takes time. You think it just takes care of itself. It does not. Believe me, she works very hard at making it work, and it always comes off, and it's always wonderful. I guess the hope is for good weather like we have today. That would be great. But it's Monday at 10:30. It steps off down there at Dr. Tenz's office, Columbus and Mulberry. 10:15 it forms. 10:30 it takes off, and then 11 o'clock is the actual ceremony down
Yes.
there. Tony Salvatore will get things moving here with that. So
Yes.
again, we're looking forward to it. Mary, thank you for all
You're
you've done for the
welcome.
veterans. We
You're
appreciate it
welcome.
very much.
It's
Our
an honor.
veterans kind of theme show will continue in just a moment.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster or 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
I'd like to thank Mary Austin for stopping by and talking about the big Memorial Day parade coming up this coming Monday. And again, we'll talk with Park Russell in a moment. Kind of a veteran-themed show today as we head into the Memorial Day weekend. We're excited about that. mentioned the good folks here at Fairfield Federal, and we always mention how much of their information is available online, things they've got going on. And I was just looking online, and I just opened up something on their website, which is fairfieldfederal.com. I just went to personal banking, and again, it's a website that you can get much information from. But it talks about things like personal financing, your checking or savings account, money market accounts, the rates, certificate of deposit and IRAs, the saving rates. You can get your statements off of there. They have all the other ATM locations and the locations of their offices here, the West Side, Pickerington. Any questions, they have a place on there where you can contact the real people here at Fairfield Federal. So it's a good thing in that respect, because so many questions could be answered if you have money questions. Maybe you're thinking about, as we head into the springtime of the year, buying a house. Well, if you're thinking about that, Fairfield Federal is certainly a great place to begin your search. And they have a lot of local people here that can answer your questions. So you can give them a call at any of the 3 branches, and they can answer your questions on the phone and maybe kind of lead you to the next step, whatever that might be. And again, they're local people here at these branches that make these decisions, not some corporate somewhere else. So we always like to mention that. Good people here at Fairfield Federal and fairfieldfederal.com. It's a veterans-themed program here, and it's always a pleasure to have Park Russell. Park is the Executive Director of the Fairfield County Veterans Administration, and I can't think of the street address out there. Route 33.
It's Route 33. Our address is 3044 Columbus Lancaster Road, Northwest. We're in that little strip mall there.
I think they call it the Greenfield Township.
Greenfield Township.
Right as you go to the airport.
Just before you get to the airport, just past Myers.
And you used to be just over the hill from where we are here at the Amstutz building for years and years, and I have to believe that that location out there is an upgrade.
It's a real good upgrade, and it's easy to get to, and we've got easy parking and access for wheelchairs, walkers, anything a veteran needs.
You know, and I guess, being a veteran, I haven't had to use any of the services that you have out there, but I think sometimes that's almost a well-kept secret, what you do out there. And you help hundreds and hundreds of veterans every year, maybe into the thousands total by the time you answer phone calls and do things like that. But I think a lot of people they're just not aware of what you do.
We have tried many
different... And that's a fight you fight all the time.
We try,
yes.
And it seems like the best way is through family members, word of mouth. We understand some veterans struggle with the idea of talking to, we consider us the VA, we're just trained by the VA to help them file claims.
Yeah.
We're not the enemy, we're a listener, and we've got a wealth of knowledge to share with you on how to help you navigate the VA system.
And I think everyone knows where the VA clinic is. It's a pretty, a lot of people go there, and a lot of people use that, and it's a great resource for a lot of people. But I think the things you do to help veterans, their families, sometimes widows and spouses, men and women, you just have tons of programs out there that I think if people would just go to the website and look around, they might see something that, again, if it's not for them, maybe they can lead them to somebody.
Yes, I advise you to do that. It'd be a nice way to go for the younger veterans. They like the computers and their phones. If you're an older veteran and you just pick up the phone, call 740-652-7920. We will work hard to try to get you answers and help you with any of the benefit questions you may have.
And you can go, again, if you're computer savvy on that, you can put in your search engine, Fairfield County Veterans Administration, and it'll come up with Park and his office down there. And it's a good website, very interactive, easy to work.
It is, very interactive. We keep it updated, and we are constantly trying to reach any veteran or family members that have a veteran in their house or they know, and they can direct them in our area, and we can try to help them.
Well, that's one of the things we want to do here is talk about some of the programs, and one of them that the last few years that I think of that is, and I'm sure I don't know the number, but I'm sure it's widely taken advantage of, is at the Fairfield County Fair. Now there's a Veterans Day, and I don't know if that's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
It's Monday.
Monday.
It's Monday, the first day of the fair.
And I go there to that, and it's an honor. Sometimes they have a nice coin that you get. You have shirts. I mean, it's really all about the veterans that day.
And that's a way for us to connect. It's a free day. You just have to prove you're a veteran. There's several ways of doing it through your discharge or the ID card that the county offers, or through the medical card. We can verify you're a veteran. You get in for free. Stop by our booth at the Grange building, and we will try to introduce ourselves to you and try to introduce you to some of the programs and tell you where we're located at.
And that's like you say, a good way to get introduced to what you have. I mean, just walk in and you have a nice booth there, and it's always manned. A couple people are there. Veterans are there that know what they're doing. They can talk, and they have a bunch of brochures and cards and just a way to, if you don't know what they do, that I guess that's a good way to kind of open the door a bit.
It is, and I served during Vietnam time in Florida. I'm a retired Marine, but I also have younger veterans in there that have been to Iraq, Afghanistan. They've been deployed in many different places, so we can connect with you. We're all veterans. We're here to serve veterans, and that's what our purpose is, and family members. Sometimes we overlook the family members. They struggle with this too, and we are a connection in an era, and that's what our goal is.
And we'll just take a minute or so to kind of step away from what we're talking about. Mary Austin was on, talking about the Veterans Parade coming up, and one of the people that will be mentioned that is, of course, Sergeant Joe Coletti. And I would have to imagine from your standpoint, from how the Lancaster and Fairfield County handled that death was amazing.
It was, and the support, it shows the community support of veterans and the sacrifices that they make. And he was active duty, and it's never ending, and there's a call all the time. And so I'm just thankful for it was shocking.
It's quite a moment, and a horrible moment you never want to happen to your community, but I think all of us feel that every person in this community, the crowds were enormous, and people were made aware of things that maybe they weren't aware of before, that veterans do.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great coverage. And one thing that we don't get to talk about much because of the timing, is coming up here in a couple of weeks, in the 22nd, is the homeless stand down.
Yes.
Tell us about that. Well,
we started this is our fourth year. We're trying to connect with veterans who are homeless or could become homeless or just have questions, struggling. We have many different programs out there. We have all the services out there. We also have the Fairfield Medical Center there, the VA Medical Center there, haircut place, jobs placement, and also food pantry. So it's another way for us to reach out and try to reach those that are struggling. We usually see about 120 a year.
How many years have you done this?
This is our fourth year coming up.
Okay.
So we're hoping again to connect again. It's at the fairgrounds. The door opens at 8 and we close at noon. And in that 4-hour time frame, we try to answer any of your questions you may have.
Talking with Park Russell, as Executive Director of the Fairfield County Veteran Service Administration, and they're out there on, again, in that Greenfield Township Shopping Center, right by where you turn to the airport. Nice shopping center, very visible, easy to get to, easy access in and out onto 33, easy to get to. One thing that I saw in there that you're talking about handling, that's in the offing and is probably pretty new to you, and I guess because it's not in law yet, is something that was called Blue Water Sailors Claims, and I was unfamiliar with that. Could you enlighten us a bit?
Those that served in a Navy ship that was off the coastline, they stretched it out to 12 miles. The VA has not stopped it. It's the first time, Vietnam ended 44 years ago, and there are many of those that were exposed to the Agent Orange through the water, the food, through the air blowing. And so their ships within 12 miles. You have to establish that, and many veterans have filed claims. And some of them are quite old, but we're hoping this year it'll pass the House and the Senate, become law, And it affects those who served on the ship, it affects those who have filed claims in the past, and those who have passed away, and the widows. So that's very important. To contact our office, we can tell you what you need to do to file a claim.
I think that's an important thing that you mentioned too, is that if perhaps you have a spouse that's passed away, that now with this in mind, that Agent Orange may or may not, you don't have to be sure, you just have to file the claim and let it all get sorted out. But you need to get moving on that, and,
Right.
and it's something that is out there that may help a spouse of a
That's
veteran.
right. And it starts with the death certificate. What does the death certificate say of cause of injury? And those who have filed claims in the past, they would like to reopen their claim, they would need to get a current diagnosis of how severe their injuries are, and we will reopen the claim. And they're going to ask the question, what about the claim I filed 5, 6, 10 years ago? That hasn't come into law yet to tell us what we're going to do about how long ago you filed a claim. But we're looking at filing a claim for you, reopening a claim, and trying to get you connected to your benefits. But again, it comes down to Congress. Will they finally get it through this year? And that's what we're hoping for.
And again, this is just an example of what the Veteran Service Commission can do to help you. If you have a question like this, call them, and they can guide you through this process and how this all begins. That's what they're there for. They're trained to do that. They want to do that. When you look back on a year, what do you think is kind of the number one thing that you help folks with?
I'd have to say we're a growing population of older veterans who end up in assisted living or independent living, or even in a nursing home. They rate benefits if they served during wartime. It's based off of monetary gross income versus your medical expenses. And again, it's a case by case, but we ask you to contact the office or the adult children that are taking care of their parents to contact us. And we can give them the guidance and information they need to file a claim for aid and attendance is the main word that people use. They've changed it since October of last year. It used to be a 5-page claim.
Not
it's
that easy
now
anymore.
17 pages. So
Sounds like the government we love.
and so that's where our office could help guide you through this.
And you probably need some help on this. That probably would benefit you to just work through the process.
We ask people to come to us first versus a lawyer. Not against lawyers, but this is something we do for free.
Yeah.
And we would like to help them in this
It's
area.
what you do. It's your
what we
job.
do.
Yeah,
It's
and
what
they're
we
glad
do.
to do it.
Yes.
Park Russell with the Fairfield County Veteran Service Commission. Thanks for all your office does and for all you and all your staff out there. They do a great job. What's the phone number again?
740-652-7920. Again, thank you for having me.
Sure. Give that a call, or again, go to a search engine, put in the Fairfield County Veteran Service Commission. I think every county has one, don't they?
Every county has an
Every
office.
county, and this is ours, and they do a great job. They're there to help you. They want to help you. You just need to contact them and just start the process and whatever questions you might have. So, Park, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Happy Memorial Day.
Yes, thank
Thank you. Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.